Hello and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV and welcome to Launch Party. It's one of those opportunities to get some of our newer products that you might have missed over the past few weeks, and that opportunity to bag a real bargain with, of course, lots of inspiration throughout the way. If you joined us earlier on in the day, you will have seen that we had the fantastic launch of that brand new frame card kit. We will be having a little look at that later on throughout Launch Party, but if you've not already got yours, it is an absolutely corking kit enabling you to create the most amazing 3D box frame cards with absolute ease. Now, don't worry, it's not just me on my own for this whole launch party. We have a full 2 hours filled with lots of amazing products and, of course, lots of amazing demonstrations as well. But it's not just me that's providing those demonstrations. Inspiring us, as always, is totally inspirational on that earlier show with our launch day. It is, of course, it's the one, the only, it's our Craig. Good afternoon, Craig.
Good afternoon, Lily. I know it's not often we get to work together on this side of the camera, so yeah, it's been nice within the earlier show, earlier on, and then of course this one here, our launch party. A little bit earlier than usual, because later on, Sarah and myself have got the HSN preview, with Ben just having a couple of days off. He's back tomorrow, by the way, but that's why Ben's not on it. So launch party here in the middle of the day, so to speak, where we're going to be having a look at the corner edgeable dies. Now, these are, as they say, corner edgeables, but they are bold, they are substantial, they are beautiful as well. For me, they're like an edgeable creator card. Not only that, we've got the cluster dies that we're going to be having a look at as well. So these cut into your card, but you have sections of the die cut that stays in play, and all that you need to do is just lift them up. This is a cluster of the image. That one, I remember I'd done that one when it comes to launch day, when these originally launched. That's going in with your shimmer palettes, colouring in the butterflies there. We've got a little bit of Sheena as well. Bring Sheena in. A couple of finished samples from her collections and pens that we're going to show. And then to start with, we're going to be having a look at my special paper pad. Absolutely love that. You guys have been loving it. So we're going to be doing things such as the rosette with the background. We will be within this show here doing this Notelet set that you can see. But what we're going to start with, and we'll come back to me after Lily, is we're going to do a lovely little gift bag there, and that's made from 2 full sheets of 12 by 12, which, funny enough, within each design you do get 2 of each.
Perfect, works out well then, doesn't it? Well, like Craig says, we are going to be focusing on that amazing My Specials paper box to start with. But any questions, any comments, get those over on the socials. Once again, we've got our lovely Rachel on the socials, and we've got the double J's in our ears. We've got Jamie and Johnny steering us through this 2 hours here on Crafters TV. Already, we've got our Margaret saying, happy Tuesday, crafty friends. She's in already, she's watching along. Any comments, any questions, let us know what you've been purchasing. Let us know maybe what you're crafting on today. Just let us know and get that chat going over on the comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. We love to hear from you guys at home. It's what it's all about. Now, oh my goodness me, if you didn't tune into launch day earlier on, we were a little bit sneaky. We gave you a peek at this incredible My Specials paper box. It launched just a couple of weeks ago here on Crafters TV, and you guys absolutely loved it. The same as the first installment within this range was so super popular. This one has been equally lapped up by you guys at home. 12 by 12 inch collection of papers. And it's not just paper pads that we're bringing to you, it is housed in this absolutely gorgeous presentation box. It's one of those that's going to make an absolutely perfect gift, maybe to a new crafter or somebody who's been crafting for many, many years. It's going to look incredible in your shelves, and it is packed full of the most gorgeous 12 by 12 papers. 240 sheets, no less, for £39.99 or $47.96. Now, if you're somebody that likes to create your 6 by 6 inch card bases, every single one of these sheets is going to provide you 4 6 by 6 inch mats and layers for your cards, which gives you a whopping 960, yeah, nearly 1,000 6 by 6 inch toppers for your cards just with this one box alone. Now, if anything like me and a little bit of a paper pad hoarder, paper pad addict, we could say, it has been said, you may be wanting to order multiples of these. And if you are ordering 2, we're going to make that deal even better. We're going to give you that extra 20% off. But if you're going to order 3, if you're going to go the whole hog, you're thinking, do you know what? I love this. I don't want to be left behind. I don't want it to go out of stock and me be left without. If you want to go for 3, you're going to save an extra 30%, and that is going to give you hundreds upon hundreds of sheets of absolute pure and utter gorgeousness with your My Special paper box number 2. All uncoated, all absolutely stunning. Some designs that you may have seen before in some of our most loved collections, we've brought them back in single-sided format, and some designs that are kind of new that you may not have seen before as well. Now, Of course, we want to see some of those designs in action a little bit more. So we're going to go over to Craig now. I know he wants to show some of the papers, but I know he's also got an incredible demonstration lined up. He's going to make this fab gift bag, and I can't wait to see how he's going to put this one together.
Thank you, Lily. Rightio, if you tuned into Hobby Maker in the UK over the weekend, you know that I also done this in a quicker forum, and I did say the templates that I showed you I'll put on my Facebook page and Instagram, which we'll do later on today. Now, when it comes to the templates, what we've got is I've got 2 sheets. Now these are pretty much identical, or they are identical in the measurements, it's just the actual cut that's going to be different.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 sheets here, Lily. Now both the sheets, what we are going to do, and we're ready to do it in a moment, we're going to score at 3 inch and then 9 inch, and then at the top we're going to score at 1.5 inches and then at 9 inches. That is the same for both of them. The only difference is on one of them, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the tabs at the bottom here. We're just going to cut away a little section, which we'll do. And then on the other one, the whole square on each side, these are going to be cut away. So we're going to step you through that. Now what you do need to do is if you're using a paper where you've got the design that's going in one direction, it's going upwards, what you want to do is when it comes to the base measurement along here, and then which goes for the same of that one, you just want to make sure that that is at the base of the design. So the design is flowing upwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 here, and I've purposely chosen these ones because the design is going full flow upwards. So I want to show you what I mean by making sure that it's at the bottom of the pad. What I'm also going to do, to show you as well, you don't have to have the great big scoreboard. I'm going to bring in our Score Master. So if you got our launch earlier on with the Showstopper and the Score Master, you can use that one.
Oh, perfect.
So let's bring in the first one here. So the first one, as I say, we need to score at 3 inch and then 9 inch. Now, of course, our Score Master, Lily, only goes up to 8 inches. So all that we need to do, score in at 3 inch, which we're going to do. So let's go up. We're onto the box lid side, so the true measurement side, and then we're going to score at 3 inches. And then to make it easier for myself, instead of scoring up to 9 inch, where we've not got the 9 inch, let's just flip it on itself, and then we're going to score at 3 inch once again.
Okay.
So scoring at 3 inch, that then means I've scored at 3 inch, and then I'll have scored at 9 inch. And then what we're then needing to do is we need to score at 1.5 inches, and then we need to score at 9 inch once again. So let's turn that on itself, and then we're going to score at 1.5 inches. So scoring at 1.5. And then once again, I don't have a 9 inch. So therefore, I just need to make sure I'm scoring at 3 inch. And the reason I'm doing 3 inch, let's make sure that's right up against the edge, is of course if I bring this one back in, here from the base to the top line there is 3 inch. So if you don't have the large scoreboard, don't worry. So I'm just going to recap that one again here. So we're going to do that at 3 inch, and then let's turn it over, and then let's score at 3 inch. So turn it back the right way, and then the top, what we need to do is we need to score at 1.5. So we're going in at 1.5, and because I don't have a 9 inch that we can see here from the base, we're just going to turn that around, and then we're just going to then score that at the 3 inch mark. Now for this one, what we need to do is set that one out the way for now. We can see here, what I've got just on my little notes here, I just need to cut in just a little tab there and then there. So let's fold these ones in. So we're just going to then fold our score lines. So we're just going to then line that up, and then we're going to press with our finger, and then we're going to give that a really nice press down. I'm going to do the same along the top. Now the top, that's then going to give us a really nice sturdy lip along the top. So we're just going to line that one up along the score line, and then we're going to press, and then we're going to give that a good fold, and then we're going to come in the other side here. So once again, we're just going to then fold along our score lines, all the way down, press and burnish. And then we're going to bring that one in here, fold over along our score lines, going to press and then give that a good burnish. So as I open that one up, what we're now left with is the same score line that I've got on that black line, but it's a score line. So it's exactly the same. And this is what I mean by this bottom bit is at the bottom, because if I turn that around, my design is going upwards. So we're in that right direction. So here, let's copy my little template. So we're going to cut along, and then just a little slither here. And then we're going to do just a little slither from the edge to that score line here. So we've got our little glue tab, which will be our glue tab. Turn that around, and we're going to do the same. So we're going to cut along the score line, and then we're going to cut a little V there, and then we're going to take that little bit here as well. So we've now got exactly as it says on my template there. We've come in at 1.5 inches, scored at 9, come in at 3, and scored at 9. And that is our template there. So we're going to do that once again with our additional sheet. This time what I will do is I will do it on our large scoreboard, so you've seen it on both. So we're going to bring this one in. Let's bring in my other template. Okay, it's exact same measurements, it's just a different cut. So we're going to then come along and we're going to score at 3 inch. I'm doing it light and a few times like I like to do. And then because it's a large board, we can go straight to the 9 inch. So score at the 9. So that's our 2 measurements done. And then we need to score from the top 1.5 and then at 9.5. Keeping in mind, this needs to be the base, of course. So turn that one around and score at 1.5. Doing that light and a few times. And then we can come all the way down to the 9 inch, which is here. Score and lightly a few times. Move that one out the way. We're then going to just repeat the steps once again, where we're just going to then fold in on our score lines, press, and then we're going to burnish. Going to come along the top here. And these measurements, as well as the Notelet template that we're going to do within this show, I'll post them both on my social later on.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
So it might be tonight, because I know once myself and you are finished within this show, I've only got an hour, and then I'm on with Sarah on the HSN preview. So it might be later on tonight. Otherwise, I know Jamie had it on the overhead there just beforehand, so you'll maybe be able to take a screen grab if you're wanting to do it beforehand. But either way, it will be there for you. So measured, scored, exactly the same as the previous one. The only difference for this one now, Lily, is the 2 squares we're going to cut out. So let's cut up to our score line and then cut that away. We're going to do the same here. We're going to cut up to the score line and then we're going to cut that away there. And then the only thing that I like to do is just go in, just like kind of a little bit of a chamfered edge there. We're going to do a little angle like so. And because this part I've made sure is at the bottom of my paper pad, once again, I've got the directional flow of the design going in the way that I want. So now we're going to come in. So this is our 2 parts now, 2 templates ready to go. Don't bin these, because these are going to be good for your gift tags to pop on the bag. Now you can use our tape runner or any of your adhesive. Because it is a gift bag, I like to use my tacky glue to make it really strong and sturdy. So this tab is going to sit over the top here. So I'm going to pop my glue, my tacky glue, onto this part. I'm going to go up to the edge, using it in my small applicator, because then that gives us just the amount. And then we're going to overlap that one into place here. We're going to press. Now this is 3 by 6, if I remember. So I'm going to give that a little bit of an additional sturdy bottom.
Oh, a nice reinforced bottom.
So
Can't
we'll
beat it.
like that. Now, although it's 160 GSM times 2, because we've overlay, I still want to give it that little bit of an additional sturdy bottom. And because the paper is kind of like this mottled, it's that kind of natural brown with the cream look, I'm just going to go in with some craft card here.
Nice.
So let's cut this to, so I'm going to do 3 by 6 exact. So let's bring in a card here, 3 by 6, which will fit perfectly. It's just a little bit snug because you need to take into account the way that you're going to fold that over. So what we can do is we can come down, even if it's just to 2 3/4, maybe not even 2 3/4, just a couple of millimeters, so that Lily, when we do come and fold the gift bag together, it's not going to catch on the end of the cardstock. So I can move that out the way, and it's easier to do it at this point now than assemble it and then try and pop it in. It's not difficult, but it's easier if we do it this way.
Perfect.
So let's add our tacky glue onto the back, which means the glue is going to dry into the fibres of the craft card and the pattern paper to make it even sturdier. So press that in. Now on these parts, so these 2 glue tabs, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to add our glue. So I'm just going to go round the edge with a little squiggle in the middle. We're going to go round the edge with a little squiggle in the middle. And then we're going to then form this one together. So we're going to come right up into the corner as if we're then marrying up like a box edge. And then we can then give that a press down. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. We're going to bring this one in, and then we're going to hold that down, press in for that then to grab. I'm going to turn that on its side. All that I'm doing, I know you can't quite see, but I'm just pressing down to give that a really firm press. And then this time what we're going to do is we're going to interlock together. So before we do that, because we've got our 1.5 inch score line, we're going to fold that in on itself, and then we need to give that just an additional fold over. So press, and then we're going to do the same on this side. We're going to then fold that one over on itself, like so, and then just give that a little press in and a little press in. Now at this point, what we can do is I'm going to come down the edge here with my tacky glue. So I'm going to go right to the edge so we've got a nice firm point. And then we can then lock that one over and close it over. We're going to make sure that that meets. And also what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a little bit of tacky glue down there. Let that match. I'm going to turn it on its side, and all that I'm doing is I'm just pressing. You can see I'm just pressing my hand in there, like so. And then we can do exactly the same on the other side. Because I'm using our tacky glue, our Craig tacky glue, between the small applicator and the quality of the glue, you don't need much at all. It's no, certainly new crafters think of glue that the more you use, the stickier it is, whereas it's actually the opposite.
Absolutely.
So we're going to line that up, and then we're going to press that in. Now, if you wanted to do like a score line down the centre to create kind of like a little bit of a gusset, then of course you can do. I'm not. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then if you've got something like a crocodile or a hole punch, you can of course punch a hole. I'm going to bring in just my stamping mat here. What I'm going to do is let's bring in my pen. I'm going to use, we've got inches, haven't we? I'm just going to roughly eyeball this. I'm looking at the 1 inch. So we are 6 inches here. So let's come in. I'm going to go in at 2 inch and in at 2 inch, just with a little mark. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to do in at 2 inch and in at 2 inch. I'm coming maybe about 1/2 inch in. Now, this is where ideally, if you've got a crocodile or a hole punch, you can use that. But by taking your poke tool, we're just going to then pop our little holes in there, pop that through, pop that one through here. And then from one of Sarah's collections, what I'm going to do, I've got the seam binding ribbon. I've taken some of the green, and I'm going to then just pop that through here. Both bits, I know many of you like to know measurements, so that you know, both bits I've cut to 10 inches. So we're going to then tie a knot. I'm going to make sure that knot is right to the edge, and let's just snip that off, pull that shut, and then we're going to go back in. And you can use your poke tool or your scoring tool just to prise that through. Another knot like this one. We're going to then just tie that. Now, if you've got twine or you've got fancy ribbon, maybe you don't actually even want to do a ribbon knot, you don't have to. We're going to trim that there.
It does finish it off nicely though, doesn't it, I think?
It does, doesn't it? What I'm just doing as well, just while I catch that, just see that little edge there at the base. I'm just going to pop my glue there. And then we can do the same again with the other one. Now, although I've cut mine to 10 inches, if you want them shorter, you want them longer, that's entirely up to you. But I know you're the same, Lily. Sometimes if we do something to a specific size, we get asked questions afterwards. What size was that length of ribbon? Or, you know, what size was that bit of cardstock? So that's the size of the length of ribbon that I'm using. And then again, we're just going to then prise that one through, and then tie that one in a knot here. We're going to then move that one to the edge. So we've now got our handles, so let's just pull that one through. Now, if you're not going to do a gusset, you do want something to hold it. What I've got, I don't know if we still do our own hook and loops on a website. We used to do black and white ones. I don't know if we've still got them. So I've just got our friends across it sticks to. It's just their hook and loop. So it's the positive and the negative. So I'm going to take a positive, and then I'm just going to take a negative as well. Now, what I like to do is I like to fasten these together.
Okay.
So I'm going to fasten them both together, and then I'm going to prise one off. And to make it really, really sturdy, because the gift bag is probably going to be open and closed, a little bit of tacky glue on the back. Then just in the centre of where our handles are for our ribbon, I'm just going to press that in. Now I'm carefully going to prise the backing off. Because there's tacky glue there and it's still wet, there's still a slight chance that that will come away. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press that in. I'm going to take just a closed peg, just to keep that closed for a moment or two. And then the last thing that we can do is let's bring in one of these squares. Let's use that one, because it's got a little butterfly here. And we can come along, and I'm just going to neaten that edge up. So it's just shy of 3 inch. Let's do a mat and layers, so just over 3 inch by 3 inch. We're going to take our glue once again, and then what you could have done, let's see if I've got a little bit of scope to do what I should have done. Let's press that in. Let's see, I tell you what, let's just snip that off. Let's take our tab again, take your crocodile or your hole punch, feed that through before you tie this to your gift bag. So we're just going to take our pokey tool, we're going to prise that through, prise and peel. Once we've got that in, let's just, we're going to open that so that we can run this through, pop it in, retie that again, and you can do that not just for your My Special paper pads. any of your papers that you've got. Let's just tie in a bow, or in a bow, in a knot. Prise that back out. So we've now got our cute little gift bag. We've got a sturdy base inside that you can see there. We've got the tag that we've made from that leftover, and because I put a hook and loop in there, that then means whatever you pop inside, it's nice, it's secure, and by following the direction of the measurement, it means on both sides, we've got the image that's going in the same direction, and I will pop the templates up on my social later on today.
Wow, that is absolutely stunning. What a fabulous idea with those brilliant 12 by 12 inch papers. As part of your My Special Paper Box 12 by 12 inch collection, you're getting a whopping 240 sheets, which gives you the ability to create 120 of those same gift bags if that's what you want to do. But an incredible collection of beautiful papers for just £39.99 or $47.96. Now, we've got a lot of you joining us this afternoon, a lot of you saying hello, saying how much you're loving the demos as well. So I'm going to say a few quick hellos before we move on to the next section of the show. So Lynn saying good afternoon and hello again, Lily, Craig, CTV community and all the team from just up the road in Newcastle. We've got Mary Beth Doyle a little bit further away saying hello from Minnesota. Laura Jones Tank saying good morning from Michigan. Crafty Mama saying good afternoon CTV team and all crafty friends. Or Rachel, in regards to that fabulous My Special Paper Box, is saying, I brought the first box, and if anyone's sitting on the fence about this box, don't, in capital letters. It is fabulous, well worth every penny, couldn't agree more. Debbie's saying, hi Lily and Craig, watching today, of course, but she's making graduation explosion boxes. They sound fabulous. Or Colleen saying, morning from Florida. She's back in the States after her son's wedding in Ireland. What a wedding and what a trip. Beautiful. Sounds absolutely fabulous, Colleen. Pat saying, hi Lily, Craig and everyone from a beautiful and clear New Jersey. Colleen is also saying she's loving the papers. And Laquieta is saying, hello everyone, she's enjoying the demo and taking notes. So much so she's got to say hello, but she's saying hello now from there as well. So next up we are going to bring to you some absolutely gorgeous shimmering watercolour paints. Now we did give you a little sneaky peek of these on launch day earlier, and they're proving so popular. We've got to bring them back and share these with you guys at home. Perhaps you've never seen these before. We did launch them last year, but they sold out pretty much instantly, and we're so delighted to have them back in stock. As part of this collection, you are getting the two shimmering watercolour palettes. I'll take you through the colours in just a moment, but when you go for those two palettes, you are getting a pack of the paintbrushes for absolutely free, which is fantastic value for money. £39.98 or $47.92 gets this whole collection home to you, and these are the most beautiful quality shimmering watercolour paints. They are packed full of that shimmering pearlescence, which allows you to get that incredible sheen and shimmer onto all of your painting projects. We've got two different palettes. The first one that we're looking at now, it's a Sunbeam, and this is the one that's been designed for use on your paler colours of cardstock. So things like your white, your cream card, this is going to work an absolute dream and give you that beautiful shimmering pearlescence onto your painting. Whether it's going to be backgrounds that you're creating like washes, whether you're going to be colouring in your stamped images, it's going to work an absolute dream and just give your projects that touch of luxury. So that's our Sunbeam, 24 colours in that one, absolutely beautiful. And they do come housed in these lovely quality palettes as well, so they make a fabulous gift if that's what you wanted to do with these. Next up we have got our Moonbeam, and these are the ones that are being designed for your darker colours of cardstock. So I think those black cards, maybe it's going to be craft card as well, they'll work beautifully onto those. But as I tilt this board, you can start to see the incredible shimmering nature that we've got with these. They are just absolutely gorgeous, sumptuous colourways we've got here. We've got the darker tones, we've got the really bright tones. It's going to work so fabulously for such a different range of projects. Whatever sort of style you're into, these are going to work an absolute treat. All 48 colours that we've got there, 24 for your darker colours of cardstock, 24 for your lighter colours, and your 3 free paint brushes as well for a Platinum Club price today of £39.98 or $47.92. Definitely want to add to your crafty stash if you've not got them already. If you've got them already, let us know in the comments because I'm sure you love them as much as we do. They are absolutely stunning. Just love those. Now, next up we've got some dies for you, and these are going to be the next demonstration from Craig, and these are absolutely stunning. Launched out, I want to say maybe last month, a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, so pretty hot off the press, and if you've not been watching lately you might not have seen these in action before, so I'm really excited to share these ones with you. These are your cluster lift dies, 6-piece collection, so 6 dies in total for that Platinum Club price today of £36 or $44. Now, these are really ingenious. If you ever saw our liftable dies that we brought to you a good few years ago now, then this is going to enable you to create that sort of lift up element. Now, unfortunately, they are flat on the boards here. We've just had to stick them down just so that they don't get damaged. But Craig will be showing you in the demo. The idea is they don't cut the full flower, they cut the petals and leave a section in the middle where it doesn't cut, which enables you to actually lift those petals up, giving you that beautiful dimensional nature to your projects. This one is our bouquet cluster. Absolutely stunning detail with all your flowers in there, and those little fall-away drop art elements are going to be ideal for those shaker cards as well. Next up, staying with that floral theme, we've also got our floral cluster. You could of course be using this alongside your other floral design within this collection, but once again gives you all that cut out detail as well as that liftable detail with that beautiful floral design. And then we have, of course, we have to include some butterflies in our collection. This one being our butterfly cluster. Think of maybe snipping into this and then removing the whole butterfly and using that as a separate embellishment. You don't always have to use it in that sort of cluster lift configuration, but when you do, it's going to give you the most gorgeous panel for all of your cards. And I know Craig did a craft along with these just a few weeks ago, creating a gorgeous project and bringing in some of his tri-blends to colour those as well. Next up, it's lovely to include a dragonfly as well as a butterfly. I always think there's something quite magical about dragonflies, and these are just beautiful. Once again, that detail within the wings that allows you to lift them up, and then you've got the cut out detail for the body. You could be backing any sort of cardstock behind there or just leaving it as an aperture. That choice is yours. Then we've got our gorgeous heart cluster, and this is a clever one because you've got sort of like multiple liftable elements within each of those hearts, giving you a really beautiful dimensional finish to that one. And then finally, something that perhaps for the younger people in our lives would be great for kids cards, teenage cards, even male cards as well, with our star cluster. You've got the ability to lift up the little points of each and every single one of those stars. So it's going to give you that incredible dimensional look and feel on your cards. Just absolutely stunning. Now, this is going to be our next demonstration with Craig. Really looking forward to seeing these in action. Craig, which one are we going to be playing with? Or we're going to have a little look at some samples first, I think.
We are, and then we're going to have a play with the butterfly. But look at this
lovely
one there with the stars that Lily was just showing you. You've got the stars, that cluster that's just popping out. Now you can alternate them as well. You can do more than one panel if you want to. There really is lots of ways you can do them. Colouring, paper piecing. The day that these launched, I used them on the foil press. Ooh. Okay, they won't lift up when they're on the foil press, but still, all the outer detail is then foiled. And as Lily said about the craft along, you can go back, it was a couple of Saturdays ago, a couple of weekends ago anyway, where that was the craft along, keeping it really, really simplistic, but showing you how much of a beautiful card you can make with a little bit of colouring. So this time I thought, right, because I've had to play with these a few times on Crafters TV, I thought, right, what can we do? Not necessarily different from the concept, but building up the card. So tell you what, let's start off with the die. So we'll do the die cutting and then we'll go on to do a little bit of a different background. I've got my white cardstock, 2 3/4 by 5.5, and I'm just going to pop that onto my card, and then we're going to bring in our plates. Now, depending on the size of the cardstock that you're cutting into, these will, for instance, this will fit within your Gemini Mini because it's on a small piece of cardstock. Bigger the card, then of course the bigger machine that you'll need. And as always, all of our dies will go through any other branded machine that you've got at home. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using our low tack tape, I'm going to use a little bit of stencil masking tape, just because we all know, as good as our low tack tape is, with the pressure of the Gemini, it can catch your cardstock. So I'm just using a low tack stencil tape, and then we're going to go base plate, frosted, magnetic, and top plate. And although there's not a lot of in-depth detail, I'm still using the full plate configuration. So sometimes I'll try and get away with taking out the magnetic shim, whereas with the die like this, I still find that you need that full plate configuration for your Gemini. So we're going to take that away, and then we're going to just carefully prise my tape off, and then we're going to be left with the wings that are going to pop up, but then we've also got bits that are going to pop out as well. So if we take that off and carefully peel that off, what we have got, with the exception of a couple of little detail bits, pop that out, and pop that out. Now we've got these wings that are going to pop up from the butterfly. You've got the decorative wings, you've got some solid wings, and then you've got some little dots and floral heads that are popping out. So if I bring in a bit of black card, because we're going to use the black card. However, what I don't want to do is I don't want to see through into the black card. So this is when my friend comes in, our paper trimmer. So all that I want is enough of an outer edge to give me that black matten layer without seeing the black through the middle. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my guillotine here, and I'm just gauging this by eye at the moment. So where I've got my cutting line down there, Lily, I'm going to come to the first line on the right hand side. Okay. And I'm going to come, of course, I'm not going to go in with the tip of the blade right to the top because I don't want to cut all the way through. I'm wanting to create that frame. So if I do that once again, up to that cutting point, and I'm going to keep on twisting and turning. We've still got that mark on our blade there that we can then follow, so I know when to start and stop. But even if we need to come along and take our scissors and just finish off that cut all the way round, like so, we've then got our framework, our aperture, we've got our card, whichever way you want to call it. So I can use that elsewhere and bring this in, and then we can see now we're going to have that matten layer, black matten layer all the way round, but what you won't see is the black through the detail of the butterflies, because we are going to create a background, and I want to see the background through the butterflies and not the black card. So we're going to line that up here, so pressing that in so we can see we've got our black matten layer. Now the only difference here is I've put my foam pads on the back, and I had to spend a little bit of time, Lily, because there's not a lot of open space, so I didn't want to bore you all at home by doing that live on air. So that's the only difference. That's the one that I've just done. That one I'd pre-done, no difference, but added my foam pads to the back. So at that point, you can then start to add that onto other cards or projects that you've got at home. But let's go in here, and we're going to create a little bit of a background. I'm going to go in with a tri-colour aqua pen here, and I'm going to go in with, what one's this one? Let's go in with a crimson here. I'm going to go in with a crimson, and I'm going to go in a little bit of glycerine as well. Okay. So we're going to, I've just got a little pipette here.
It's like being back in chemistry lessons at school, this, with this pipette out.
The pipette out, adding a little drop of the glycerine. Now this is something that, you know, I've watched Sheen and that do for years, but I've never, until the last few weeks, started to do it myself. And I can't stop doing it. I love how now we can just take our water-based pens, and then we can then start to create our own blended background with some of the most cheapest of cheap glycerin. Go at the chem. I know that one's a food one. I'm sure Sheena says the best one is your most inexpensive one from the chemist or the pharmacy. Yeah,
she always says that, because I think the baking one's a bit more expensive. I think they work exactly the same, but get yourself down to the chemist, it'll be an awful lot cheaper.
Or go to Amazon Prime and get a great big bottle like I did for a couple of £. That, or of course, if you are supporting your local pharmacy, then you can go there. But yeah, easy to get, the most inexpensive one. And also this is, although this is a water-based tricolour aqua pen, this is just our smooth white cardstock. Okay. So yes, you can do it on your watercolour card, but this is just your smooth white cardstock. And I've got my lovely blended background.
Ooh, that's nice.
With the crim, there we go, that really shows it off. And then what I've also got within a demo coming up later, and I'm going to use it in this one.
Oh, okay.
Let me get out a stencil. So I'm going to go in with one of our trio here. And let's go in with...
We might still have these over on the website, some of these.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I'm sure we do, yeah. So I'm going to go in now. I'm not going to add any additional ink whatsoever, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along and I'm just going to use what's already there. I might actually add a little bit extra. We'll see how this looks. Actually, no, we can.
Oh, that looks
We
lovely.
can just see it picked up and no more. I only want that little bit of a hint. So we can see there. You can just see some of that stencil detail coming through. Tell you what we will do is let's just add a little bit more, and I'm just going to add just a tiny little bit because I want this one to be a little bit darker. So let's go over there. Yeah, I can already tell that this is going to be much, much better. So if I lift that one up, there we go.
Oh yeah,
there you
that
are.
pops,
You can
doesn't
see
it?
the corner, just beautiful. Take some of that excess, and I'm going in. I'm just going to lift and blend, lift and blend. Nowhere specific. We're just going to go in and create a little bit of a random background that we can see here. Let's take a bit of black cardstock now that I had cut to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So let's give myself a really, really thin matting layer. So I'm going to go just over 4 1/4 by just over 6 1/4. Perfect. There we go. So that will, in the end, Lily, sit behind.
Beautiful.
So we're going to see that coming through the butterflies. But let's add another layer.
Go on
I was
then.
going through my stash of butterflies stamps, and we've had lots of them lately that are new. But remember our left fold alphabet stamps? So I've dug these ones out, and we've gone in. What I've already also done is using one of the sentiment stamps with the banner die that you got included within this one, with All My Love, stamped it out, done a drop shadow. But let's take the largest butterfly, and we're going to take now of course you can absolutely use your stamping platform, but when it comes to little stamps, I do still like my little acrylic block. So I'm going to take my alcohol-proof ink pad, and I'm just going to do a little corner and show you what we're doing, and then I can bring in the one that I've already finished. And that cardstock, I'll double check the measurements because I'm sure I need to trim it a little bit. But what I'm doing is this layer here, that's going to sit over the top there. So I don't need all the butterflies within the middle. All that I need is butterflies around the edge.
It's like a border.
Just creating that bordered frame, yeah. We're working our way around, and we're going to go up. As I say, I'm not going to do the whole lot, but stamp off the page. Always looks quite smart when you go off the page. And we're going to go at different angles, which you would keep going all the way around. And we can't do a stamp background without doing what I love, and that's taking our ice grey too. Now this is from our Illustrator. Doesn't matter, it's actually drying out now. Doesn't matter which one you're using, as long as it's your alcohol. Let's see if I can find it straight away. Typical, what you see, we've got them all the other ones, but not. There we go, there we go. Is this classic going to be working? Let's have a look.
You could always use one of your tri-blends, I suppose, couldn't you?
You could
use
do.
one of the shades.
Absolutely. Funny enough, it was the tri-blend I was looking for, and it was just the deeper shade that we had. So yeah, I like to use the ice grey too. So it could be your tri-blend, your classic, your Illustrator, any of your alcohol ice grey too. You can use slightly deeper shades. Many will use like an ice blue. So whatever you like to use, whatever you think looks really quite smart. And then all that I do is where I've stamped, I'm just going around with the ice grey, just following all the way around. This one's a way to dry out as well. So I'll bring in the one that I've already done. But you're going to then just draw around your stamped impressions. Wherever you've got a black outline, you're going to draw around. So when you get to the end, it's going to look like that.
Oh wow, beautiful.
So stamping with that ice grey onto the back. Now that I had cut 5 by 7 exact, my card blank is 5.5 by 7.5. And I've already got my tape on the back here, little fine black mat and layer, which the last couple of months I've been doing my black mats and layers really, really fine instead of at 1/4 of an inch.
I have to say I've been the same lately with some of my matte layers. I think especially with the black or with your metallic, thinner works better.
It does, yeah, it really, really does. I don't know what it is, but yeah, visually it just looks better when it's a really, really fine. And for me, as always with the mats and layers, but certainly a fine mat and layer, your guillotine is going to be your best friend.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. And now the background that we've created, so anyone that wanted to double check, that was the crimson tricolour aqua pen that I've used.
We have just had a question from Shaz who's asking what ink pad did you use for your stamping?
So that's a really good question. So for the butterflies, because I've gone around with an alcohol pen, that was our Noir Black alcohol proof ink pad that I used. So it could be any of the alcohol base, but because the pens that I used were alcohol based pens, I've used my alcohol proof ink pad.
Perfect, thank you.
And then we're going to add that.
Oh, that looks so smart, doesn't it?
Into the centre here. Now that could be a cluster of flowers if you wanted to be, your flower forming, your floral creations. That could be a good basis for anything.
Absolutely.
But we're going to bring in our cluster of butterflies. I'm just going to pop these ones, pop the wings up. Let's just bring these ones up, and then up. And because that's still technically a little bit damp with our ink and the glycerin, what I'm going to do is on the foam pads, very quick squiggle just onto the back there. So then we'll get that instant stick with the foam pads, but then the glue will dry into the wet base and into the foam pads to make it really sturdy and strong.
When you're creating your backgrounds with your glycerin and your pens, how long roughly would you need to wait for that to dry? Or?
I tend to do it maybe very roughly, maybe about half an hour before I'm actually away to do my project.
Okay.
You can heat set it with your heat gun, but I suppose like anything that's wet, if you do it a wee while before, but yeah, at least give yourself half an hour. If you wanted it to be solely dry, I would give myself at least half an hour or so, just to make sure. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out that looks like a pearl. Don't worry about little butterflies being hidden. This is about finding where you want to pop. It could go down there, it could go further up, but I'm going to go into the middle and I'm going to keep it flat. I've already got my tape on here. So we're going to bring that in, and that sentiment was from the same one, which is the left fold alphabet stamp. We're going to bring that in. Let's bring that into there, centralise that, press it in, and then there we go. There's your cluster butterflies. Bringing in your butterfly, any butterfly stamp for the back, bringing in a little bit of blended in your stencil, and then it just means that by creating that little frame around with the black, we see straight through to our backdrop without seeing the black card.
That is absolutely gorgeous. What a demo, blimey me, that was beautiful. So many different techniques on that one card as well, so hopefully something to inspire all of you guys at home. Now, if you are wanting to create something similar, then you need to get your cluster lift dies. We've got a collection of 6 available for you guys at home. We've got a 6-piece collection for £36 or $44 for all of these beautiful designs. So I'll quickly whip you through the designs. First off, we've got our stars, then we've got our absolutely gorgeous hearts, then we've got our dragonflies, our butterflies that Craig's just used in that gorgeous demonstration. We've also got the first one of our floral designs, that one being our floral cluster. And then finally, we have our bouquet cluster, all 6 die sets there for £36 or $44. Now, before we go for a quick break, to give you guys a chance to check out those baskets, we've had quite a few more comments come through during the time that Craig was demonstrating. Karen's asking, is the special still on with the paper box? Yes, absolutely. So if you want to buy 2 of those My Special Papers box, you will save an extra 20%, and if you go for 3, you'll save an extra 30%. So yeah, absolutely time to stock up on those if you want to. Alt J's saying she has the My Special Paper box. It's gorgeous. Lynn Morton says she's got the shimmering watercolour palettes. They're beautiful to work with and amazing results. Could not agree more. Imani saying she's just received her cluster dies yesterday. Oh, Sensational Sky says, 2 of the calmest voices on CTV. Wow, there we go.
Nice.
Oh, Deb's saying, love Crafter's Companion, you all make my day. Oh, thank you, Deb, that is really, really sweet. Karen's saying, so pretty. And then Rachel, with reference to our outline with our grey marker, she says she's used a light yellow pen before, which was different, but it looked great. Something I might need to try.
That's what matters.
Like that idea. Now we're going to give you guys a chance to check out your baskets. Going to learn a little bit more about Club Inspire. But when we come back, there'll be lots more deals, lots more demos. Might have a sneaky peek at that brand new launch as well too. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Tea first, and then from there it'll be meetings, and they could be commercial meetings, they could be creative meetings, I could be supporting one of my team. I also manage a large team, so it could be one-to-ones with those. Every day is different, but always a predominant focus on the products, how they're working, the new products that we're bringing out, a lot of research and development. When we get to see the finished article, way before anybody at home gets to see it, it arrives and we get to unpack it and experience it and try it, that gives us all a massive buzz. I can't be getting out of bed too early, and I like to get to bed. 9 o'clock's the new 10 p.m. Tea all day long, black, no sugar, thank you. I tend to miss breakfast, which isn't great, and if I have something when I come in the office, then that's going to be yogurt and fruit. My face, all of the makeup that makes this, nobody's seeing this without that on. Probably a baked potato or a salad or something egg-based. Ooh, craft along a masterclass. I'm going to say masterclass, and that's because I love to educate. One song that would be the theme tune to my life, it would be Billy Ocean, Red Light Spells Danger. Pour a gin and tonic. First thing I do. Get in the house, gin and tonic, decompress the day, and then plan what I'm going to do that night.
Hello and welcome back to Crafters TV. Welcome to Launch Party. We've had a fantastic show so far. We've had lots of inspiration courtesy of those fantastic cluster lift dies and that fantastic My Special paper box too as well. However, if you didn't manage to join us earlier on in the day, we had a fantastic launch day show, 2 hours dedicated to the amazing brand new card kit that we have launched today here on Crafters TV. This is your frame card kit collection and it is absolutely fantastic. It allows you to create the most amazing show-stopping 3D box frame cards. They are absolutely gorgeous, and as part of your showstopper, not only are you getting that card kit, which is actually giving you the ability to create 20 of those fantastic 3D cards and their envelopes as well. You're also getting our Scoremaster scoreboard with both imperial and metric measurements, so it's a double-sided scoreboard. Also has its inbuilt box making technology as well, so you can create boxes where the lid and the base are going to fit together absolutely perfectly with total ease. You're also getting 10 sheets of our Centura Pearl cardstock. That's our Snow White hint of silver cardstock. Beautiful quality with that one. It's construction weight, just absolutely stunning. Then you're also getting one of our tape pens, 22 meters of super strong tape with within that tape runner allows you to use it, of course, for your matting and layering, even for wrapping presents, but you can use it in your construction as well, with it being such a super strong adhesive. All those crafty goodies as part of your showstopper for £27.99 or $31.96 if you're part of our Platinum Club, and you're also going to get 100 bonus points, which is absolutely fantastic. Now you can see all the gorgeous goodies in that showstopper. If you do want to go for the collection on its own, that brand new launch without all the extra goodies as part of that showstopper, or maybe you're going for the showstopper and you want to get some extra of those card kits as well, you go for the showstopper and an individual, that's going to give you the ability to create 40 of those fantastic frame cards with the matching foiled box envelopes as well. The frame card kit, details on your screens for that as an individual, for just £19.99 or $23.96 with 50 bonus points. Now it is super easy to put these together. We did have some really inspiring demos as part of the launch day show, showing you not only how you can put these together sort of as they're intended, but also how you can take them one step further as well. Just to note as well, you will get full colour instructions with your pictures and your words as part of every single packet when you go for these. But I think we need to have a little look at some of the finished samples with Craig. I know he's lining them up so you can see all the fantastic designs. 5 designs, 4 of each as part of this fabulous collection.
Absolutely, yeah, as you were saying there, Lily, you've got your 5 designs, you can do 4 of each, 28 in total, and you've got the boxes as well. Now I'll show you one of each. So this is how they are all created, and this is the original concept, the initial concept for them. So you get the card blank that's separate, and you get the box frame as well for you to assemble, pop onto the top. Then you can come along with your own verse or your own inserts that you've got, maybe your vellum ones, paper ones, stamp them, print them, stick them in. You can do whatever you want when it comes to the inside. And then you've got your box as well. So all flat pack, and then all you need to do is assemble it with your adhesive. And these, of course, are beautifully foiled. Foil detail for you to write the recipient's name, and then you've got the box, so it's nice and secure if you were to put additional details. So that is your second one. You've also then got your third one. You've also then got your fourth one, and then you've also got your fifth one as well. Now, of all of these ones here, all of them, you can go back onto launch day earlier on and see how you can create them, because they're really simple. But maybe you want to come along with your other stamps that you've got at home, your other collections you've got. That is from our Just to Say collection.
Oh,
might be
yes.
coming soon, but it was just to show you that you can absolutely, of course, frame all of your stamp designs. What about chopping into them? I've showed you how to chop into them. So that's me and my 2 cousins, more like brother and sister, Lou and Dan there. Turned that into a shaker, of course, with that shaker element, that framework on the front with some acetate. So I showed you how to do that within launch day. And then I also showed you how to do this triple as well. So myself and Clemmy in the middle. We've then got myself and my mum, and then we've got myself and my my auntie / godmother. And I say that because she's my auntie, she's my godmother. But if I say this is my auntie, she'll say, I'm your godmother as well. So yeah, it's my auntie Jane, and I've got my mum Denise there as well, with myself and Clemmy. So I showed you in launch day, Lily, how you can create something like that.
Absolutely amazing. The scope with this collection is absolutely fantastic. I know sometimes we think of card kits, maybe they're more for novice crafters, maybe they're for people who don't have a lot of items in their crafty stash already, but I think Craig showed perfectly within that first show, within that launch day, how absolutely fantastically you can make this work, whatever skill level you are in terms of that crafting journey. Maybe you want to get this out for crafting with the kids, the grandkids. I think they're going to love it. They're going to love that ability to create something that's not just a flat card. It gives you that opportunity to create something that's 3D, adding those extra items as well, adding those extra elements, and it's going to look absolutely stunning. If you want to go for that card kit on its own, £19.99 or $23.96, that's going to give you 60 elements in total, which gives you the ability to create a whopping 20 cards with their beautifully foiled matching box envelopes, so that you know they're going to be housed beautifully in those fabulous quality envelopes as well. Definitely want to add into your crafty stash, especially if you're in a little bit of a crafty pickle and you need a really quick card that's not going to scrimp on style and is going to look equally as fabulous. Just love that kit. Now, welcome back to Crafters TV. Welcome back to Launch Party. If you've just joined us, we are having a fantastic show so far, but still lots more to come throughout the last hour of the day. We're going to be looking more at that My Special Papers box. We've got some fantastic dies to share with you as well, and so many other crafty goodies besides. As always, any questions, any comments, get them over on the social. We love hearing from you guys at home. We love your comments, love the questions. We love all that interaction. Lots of love already for Craig's demos throughout the day. Sam saying, such a stunning card, Craig. Janelle saying, love the card, Craig. Thanks for inspiring us. Mary Beth Doyle hit the nail on the head with this one, has said, today's demos have been beautiful. Thanks. Laquietti saying, really loving all the projects and inspiration today. Christy is loving the trifold with the box frames. Oh my gosh, the trifold is stunning. Absolutely it is. And Lynn Mortars say, well, I never, call me a fool. I never thought of using the tape pen to wrap. Why didn't you tell me that last Christmas? Well, you'll know for this Christmas because it will be here before we know it. But yeah, that tape pen, it's brilliant for wrapping your presents. If you've never tried that before, give it a go. Now, next up, we are going to have a little look at some of our fantastic corner edgeable dies, and these are absolutely beautiful. We launched them just a few weeks ago with Sarah. I know she's a huge fan of these, and they were very, very popular when we brought them to you at launch. We've still got that fantastic price that we brought to you on that launch day show as well. That price of £64 or $79.20 is going to get you the full collection of 9 absolutely stunning designs. And these are really quite clever in the way that they work. Like Craig described them earlier, they're like a cross between an edgeable die and a fantastic creator card as well. They cut around that top right hand side of your cardstock, but they leave that bottom section there within your cardstock. There's no cutting blade along that edge there, so that piece of card can be as long or as short as you like, allowing you that ability to create lots of different concepts in terms of your card shapes. First up is our beautiful entangled butterflies, and like I was saying earlier, think of snipping into that. You don't just always have to use these as edgeable designs, you can use them as separate embellishments as well. Lots of beautiful florals included in this collection as well. We do love to use our florals in our card making. They do offer us that sort of timeless versatility in design. They're just absolutely beautiful. That one's our delightful peonies. Think of maybe cutting that in white cardstock, your Nina cardstock, and going in with some of your tri-blends or your other alcohol markers. That would look absolutely beautiful. We've also got our floral bouquet. I think that one would be ideal for paper piecing. Start to pick out those different flowers in different colours, different textures and finishes of card, and it's going to work absolutely stunningly. We've also got our lovely daisies. That's going to work amazingly with that Nature's Garden Delightful Daisies collection. If you got that one in the past, it's going to work a treat with that. Think of maybe adding some of your gems, some of your glitters to the centres of those flowers to really make them pop off the page as well. We've also got our fairy tale rose, and for me this is one that makes me think of that Sarah Signature Once Upon a Time collection. It's going to work beautifully with those papers and maybe some of the sentiment stamps in there as well. Another beautiful design, just sort of trailing across the edge of your cardstock, gives you that beautiful flow of design with that one. Then maybe something that's going to be a little bit better for those masculine makes, but definitely one you could be taking all through the 4 seasons, all year round with your Into the Woods. You've got that beautiful, incredibly detailed tree design with that die there, just absolutely stunning. Maybe you're going to pick out some of the leaves with some of your green markers, or perhaps it could be tan coloured markers, or your sort of burgundy if it's going to be a tree to actually be perfect for your autumn cards or your Thanksgiving cards. That will work a treat. We've also got our lovely hearts within this collection. I can't believe how many you're getting. 9 sets of dies here. They're going to cover lots of different occasions and lots of different recipients with this fabulous collection. This one I think is ideal if you're new to paper piecing but just want to give it a go. The hearts are a little bit larger there, so you've got those larger pieces that do make it a little bit easier to paper piece that if you've not had a go at that technique before. We've also got our Off to the Ball. The detail in that dress is absolutely amazing. Look at all those swirls, all those filigrees. It's just stunningly beautiful. Add a few gems, a few pearls to finish that off, and it's going to work absolutely gorgeously. And then finally we have, which I know is going to be featuring in Craig's demonstration, we have got our elegant peacock. The detail within there, how fine some of those lines are, that intricacy is off the chart. It's just incredible. You've got that beautiful design there. It's going to work amazingly with some of your gold cardstock, some of your satin or mirror card. That's going to look totally opulent, just absolutely beautiful. Love that. Just one of the 9 dies within this collection. All 9 of those designs, from your florals, your butterflies, your dresses, your fabulous trees, your peacocks, you've got it all within this collection for £64 or $79.20 to get all of those gorgeous designs home to you. So you can start crafting and start creating the most gorgeously detailed and intricate cards with absolute ease. Now, I know Craig's got a demonstration lined up for us. I know you'll be looking forward to this one because it is with that fantastic peacock die. So Craig, what have you got lined up for us?
Rightio, let's delve in and use that peacock. Let's look
Oh,
at
yeah.
a few of the finished samples that we've got here. So you can see you've got the dress. What these are also really good for, and actually the dress one is one that I'd done a couple of weeks ago in Hobby Maker in the UK, the illusion film.
Oh,
By popping
yeah.
the illusion film on the back. I know it's on the show.
It certainly is.
So it's a nice one just to pop into the back of. Certainly the dress, any of them, but certainly the dress is a really, really good one. But they don't just have to be on the corner of your card. I mean, there's two different ways. With the
Oh, wow.
floral rose, that one is the concept, but then you can see how you can absolutely mix and match. And there's one with the peacock. And then let's also bring in one with the butterflies as well.
Beautiful.
So what we're going to do within this one here, once again I was thinking, right, how can we change it ever so slightly, you know, the concept on the edge, the corner of your card. We're going to use it as kind of like a topper. So let's create a background again. Now I've got a piece of cardstock here, 4.5 by 6.5, and I'm going to go in with my Oasis Water Reactive. Water Reactive is always my go-to. I absolutely love them. And because I'm not actually going to be doing anything water-based as such, no faux bleaching or anything like that, I'm just keeping it onto white, smooth cardstock.
Okay.
Because I'm not spritzing with water or doing any watercolouring or anything like that, so I don't need to have my watercolour card. So I'm just going to go in with my smooth cardstock and I'm just going to lay the colour down. Don't worry about the edges, and actually don't worry about the actual lay down of the colour, because this is what we're actually going to cut into. So we're going to have the detail of the peacock, and you'll see kind of a panel's worth down the side. So I'm just going to go inking up my blending tool. It's purely preference, I like the square one. If you want to use your circle, or you can use your brush, up to yourself. But we're just going to lay a bit of that colour down, add just a little bit more. And then once again, that same set of stencils that I used within that last demo, what we're going to do is we're going to bring one of them in. And the reason that for anyone that's new or relatively new, wondering why I'm holding with a bit of cardstock, because these are your water reactive, these are a water base. If I hold with my fingers, there's a good chance that the oils from my finger are going to pick up the ink and I'm going to be left with fingerprints. So I take just a bit of cardstock, doesn't need to be a big bit, could be a little scrap bit of cardstock. That's more than enough. And then that we shall leave there. I'm going to come in with that one. And then essentially what I'm going to do is exactly what I done within that last demo. In actual fact, let's bring in parakeet for this one.
Okay.
Take some of that excess off, and I'm just going to lightly but roughly just go into
That's gorgeous.
different sections there. Remember, you're not going to see lots of this because this is what we're going to be cutting into, but it helps when it comes to the actual panel at the side, which will become apparent in a moment.
Okay.
But then there we go, let's just make sure, yep, put them on the right one. So that's my backdrop that I'm going to cut into, which could quite simply be a background. So let's go in with the peacock here. So I'm going to come in with the peacock, and I'm going to, let's actually, no, I'm not going to, I'm going to trim it afterwards. Now, with the peacock, what you've got is, you've got your cut line. So you've got your cut line all the way around the edge here, and then it stays in place. So to you looking this way, it stays in place on the right-hand side. It's actually the left-hand side that it stays in. Now, this is a little bit of a deceiving one because of the design of the die. You kind of naturally want to put it upright, but just have a look. You've got your straight edge there. So that is actually the straight edge that runs down. So what I'm doing is I'm going to come to the edge of my cardstock, I'm going to come close to the bottom, and I'm just going to make sure that that straight edge that we can see there is running up and down. And then I'm going to take my tape, we're going to then tape that down. Now this side would be waste.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pop my tape into there. Now this is what I mean, kind of like the panel that you'll still see. So we're going to bring in our die. I'm going to make sure, because that's still wet, sometimes your low-tack tape doesn't quite grab because you've gone over with your ink, so just make sure that's not moved. And because it's very detailed, we're going to go frosted magnetic top plate. we're going to run that one through, and then I've got some red, well, it looks like red mirror card. It's actually from, I don't know if you were here at the time or not, Lily. Maybe you were. Our Positive collection.
Yes, positive thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that one's from. So I delved into my stash.
I don't think I've got any of that left, to be honest. I think I've got a few of the topper pads, but I don't think I've got any of the cards. It's a lovely, lovely collection, that one.
Well, that's why I very, very rarely do I use the cardstock unless I think it's needed. And
I have to say I use the dies quite often. There's a lovely flourish and a couple of lovely
yeah.
butterflies. Yeah, they're some of my go-tos.
It's a really, really lovely one, and it's just like yourself. I just feel that if I keep using it, I'm not going to have much left, so I always keep it. This is the last of the red, and I thought it worked really, really well with the Oasis and the parakeet. So we've got our peacock on the edge. Now these cut into them, you know, you stamp into them, use your borders, corners, all of those. But there we go, we've got our peacock that we're now cut into our card.
Beautiful.
What we're then also going to do is I'm going to keep that to, I'm just wanting to check now, so I'm going to trim that. So because that's 6.5 inches, I'm going to trim that to 6 1/4. I'm also going to trim the bottom as well, just so that it's running parallel. So I'm going to cut that to 6 inches. So it's just that real bottom bit and that bit there that I've cut. And we're going to do the same. So I'm going to bring in that red mirror card. I'm going to clean that out. And then exactly what I've done there a moment ago, we're going to repeat that. So I'm going to come close to the left-hand side. I'm going to leave a little bit more of a gap, and you'll see why in a moment. But I do just want to make sure that that cut line, that straight cut line, is running up and down. So we're going to tape that in with our tape. Bring back in the same, exactly the same plate configurations. I've just flipped them over and frosted magnetic top plate. Feed that one in, and then I've got my .A tape runner here. Now you could use, at home, I use my tacky glue. Unfortunately, when we're live on air, we don't have all the time in the world to go over all the detail with the tacky glue. So at home, that's what I use. When I'm here, I'll use our .A tape runner. So let's prise that out, and then we can then just snip. I'm just going to snip away that excess there.
I mean, look at that detail. That's incredible, isn't it?
Even
Wow.
on mirror cards,
I know.
yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Mirror card looks absolutely exquisite. So you've got a couple of little flush corners, so just be careful as you're taking them out. You can see there.
Wow.
No fraying, no nothing whatsoever from the card. Now, what we're going to do, the reason I wanted to make sure my card was slightly bigger is we're going to trim afterwards. So let's do our drop shadow. So I'm going to go onto the back here with my dots. So I'm just going to go and run in sections, or your stick and spray, whatever one that you want to use, but we're going to go over all that intricate detail with the dots. So make sure I've got a really, really nice coverage. I'm going to switch to my straight tape runner into the solid areas here. And then we're going to come along here. Now, usually I'll do the drop shadow down to the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay.
So it'll look a bit like this. But what I'm doing is I'm going to do it in the opposite way. I'm actually going to come up to the top right-hand corner. Sorry, top left-hand corner. So that the red, let's do it on a bit of white to make it a little bit easier to see. So if I bring that in here, I'm going to keep it that way so it's easier for you to see. I'm going to turn my body. You would be doing this at home, but I'm doing it this way so that we can just get that red drop shadow and press that in. So we're going to press, so you can see you've got that gorgeous red drop shadow. And because I've kept my card that little bit bigger, my red card, it means I can now come along. I don't need to trim down that side. I can come along and just trim at the top. I'm going to trim at the bottom so I can still give myself a matting layer. So we've got our matting layer all the way round. And then what I'm going to do is, whereas I said that I've ran out of the red mirror card, I would do, and I've got it for this example, I'll show you in a moment, but I would do a white matting layer with a fine red matting layer. Now, because I've not got any left, what I'm going to do, and this will still, it'll still work, and it'll still look lovely, I'm going to go direct onto my 5x7 card blank. Let's add our foam pads into here. There's a little section that I can see here that I can put a foam pad and no one will see that shining through. So if we take that off, and that little foam pad will just help balance it ever so slightly. We're going to go direct into there. And then we're going back to my absolute favourite die from our 2022 Advent calendar. We've got Hello. I've got my foam pads on the back there. So I'm then going to come along there. So that's our white card and a little bit left over of the red mirror.
Beautiful.
This is just a little flourish die. I don't know where it's from. It just sits in my little box at my Gemini. That's going to pop out there. And same with this tiny, tiny little butterfly. We're going to then add a dot of glue. That can go down into there. So if I press that in, so that's now our corner edgeable has become our topper. So that's how it looks straight on to a 5x7 card blank. But if you did have red left over and you do a red matting layer, and you can see I've gone a little bit deeper with the colour. So you've got both of those, the oasis and the parakeet.
Absolutely gorgeous. Wow, what a beautiful card there, showing a slightly different concept to perhaps the way they've been intended with those gorgeous corner edgeable dies. Super inspiring. And if you want to recreate something like that at home, you need to go for your corner edgeable die collection. 9 dies in total for £64 or $79.20. Now, I'm going to ask a quick question to Craig before we go to a break. Amali's saying, what wet glue should you use when using the mirror card?
In the mirror card, so the mirror card, you're going to, ideally you want to use your tacky glue. So your tacky glue for your coated card and your all-purpose glue for your uncoated cardstock. They do, I know Lily will sometimes use them the other way. There's no right or wrong way. We can give you the best advice, but there's not necessarily a right or wrong way, because I know Lily, sometimes you'll use your all-purpose for your mirror card.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant, great tip there. Another little question coming in from Lynn. She's saying, Lily and Craig, can I query, please? When I use my paper trimmer, my cardstock looks feathered and bent at the edges. She's replaced the blade, it's still happening. What's she doing wrong?
I don't know if you're doing anything. I would just make sure the finger guard is pressed down. If you're still having any issues, then get some tin foil or illuminated foil and just fold it a couple of times, just a couple of times. You don't want it really thick. And then just travel your blade up and down. That'll maybe give it that little bit of a helping hand. I don't think you're doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I would probably say, like, make sure your guard is down, and make sure you're pressing down firmly enough, and that should make sure that you're getting that sharp, clean cut every single time. A few more comments. You guys are just loving Craig's demos. We've got Imani saying, my mouth drops every time she sees that peacock. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Marley saying, Craig is getting really inky today, and I'm loving it. He's definitely having lots of crafty fun, that is for sure. Laquiette is saying she loves these edgeables. They might be her favourites. Oh, high praise indeed. She's also saying pretty colour choices. Colleen's loving all your creations today, Craig. And Janelle's saying adore these corner edgeables. Yep, they are absolutely gorgeous. If you want to check your baskets out, if you want to get those beautiful edgeables winging their way to you, I'm going to give you a few moments to check out those baskets, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobbymaker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. I think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
When I'm working, it's quite busy because I have to get up really early to come into work if I'm going to be travelling from London. But otherwise, I'm quite lazy. I spend a lot of time in bed. Best part of my day is when we come in and I get to see everybody. I really enjoy being up here. It's really nice to see all my friends, and this is my happy place. I do like to see everyone, and also, of course, if Christina's in, I'm getting my breakfast from Christina before I start the day. Early riser without a doubt, never a night owl. I'm in bed at 9:30. Bath at night, shower in the morning. I'm very clean. Tea, the colour of He-Man. Both. I like pancakes with bacon and maple syrup. Craft along, because there's always a softer side to craft along. My phone, my life is my phone. Yeah, the phone and the dog. Unless they're coming up here and I can't bring the dog in. My favourite lunch isn't lunch. My favourite lunch is afternoon tea. That's what I'd like. Lots of selection of sandwiches, some scones, or scones, some cream and jam, and some little cakes. But I couldn't have it every day because I'd be the size of a house. Oh, that changes to the moment. My favourite song at the moment is Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Or make myself a cup of tea and go and have a bath.
Hello and welcome back to Crafters TV. We've got just over half an hour left on this launch party show. Still lots more to pack in. I know Craig wants to step you through that fantastic tutorial of how you can create that Notelet set. And I know a lot of you guys at home have been excited about that one, so we are going to make sure that we pack that in before the end of the show. But if you want to create something as stunning as that Notelet card set that we will be having a look at in just a few moments' time, you are going to need your fantastic My Special Paper Box number 2. It's the second in the collection of our My Special Paper collection. Who knows? There might be more coming, I hope so, because I think they are absolutely fabulous, and I think you guys at home agree as well. You love the first one, you're loving the second one just as much. It's equally gorgeous, but different designs, of course. Some of the designs within this box you may have seen before, some of our much loved paper pads. We've brought back those designs in single-sided format. You are getting a whopping 240 sheets as part of this fantastic box, all housed in this stunning presentation box. So it's going to make an amazing gift, or just a gift to yourself. Think how amazing that's going to look on your craft shelves, all lined up with those beautiful papers inside. 240 sheets and your box for £39.99 or $47.96. Absolutely beautiful quality. The box itself is stunning quality. All the papers in there, they're what you expect from us here at Crafters Companion. Beautiful designs, lots of opportunities to get creative with those papers. Whether you're just using them for mats and layers, whether you're using them to create 3D projects as well, they're going to work an absolute treat. But Craig, I think, wants to have a little look inside this box and show us some of the amazing things we can create with it.
Yeah, we're going to dive in and we'll maybe have a look at the papers once I've finished. So I just want to make sure I get this one in, because I know I teased you over the, well, I didn't tease you, I just said to you within the launch party today, we're going to do like this mini masterclass here. I can show you how you can then create this lovely little notelet set. So this notelet set, what we've done here is I've done 5 cards, 4x6 cards. The paper on the front are from My Special Papers. Most of it, Lily, is white smooth cardstock and also craft cardstock. A couple of little die cuts, you can see there I've used that hello one once again, and a couple of them are the same. And then what we've done is made the envelope as well. So we'll make one card and we'll make one envelope, and then of course you can do as many as you want at home. And then we're also going to do the template. Now, if you've seen launch day earlier on, you'll know that later on today I'm going to pop the picture of the template that I used on my social, and I'm going to do exactly the same here. So I'm going to bring this in view for you to see up ahead, but don't worry, I've already taken a picture and I will pop it on social later on. So what we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to cut our cardstock. So we're going to be cutting, well, I'm saying cutting, it's already at the full length of the A4, and it just needs to be 6 inch. So 6 inch by that 11 and a bit. Essentially, it is the same length as your A4. So you don't need to do any trimming at the end. We're just going to cut that at 6 inch. So let's bring in our guillotine and cut our cardstock to the 6 inch mark. So move that out the way, and then let's bring in our scoreboard.
Okay.
So we're going to bring in the scoreboard here, and then what we'll do is I'll do that underneath, so you can kind of just see as well. So we're going to come along and then we're going to score at 4.5. So we're going to score at 4.5. We're then going to score at 5.5, like so. We're then going to score at 10, like so. Let's make sure I'm in the groove. And then we're going to score at 11. So scoring at 11. So we're going to score once again at 4.5. We're then going to score at 5.5. We're then going to score at 10 inch, and then we're going to score at 11 inch. So maybe you can just see a couple of the score lines in here, there, and there. So I'm going to give them just an extra score, so I can go over it again. So that's at 4.5, 5.5. We're going in at 10, and then we're going in at 11. So that is our score lines here. You can just
there we are.
You can just see them there. You can just see them here, and then there. As I say, you've got that there, and the picture will be on my Facebook and Insta later on for you to follow. What we're then going to do is we're going to turn that on its side. So we're then going to turn it in on its side, and then we're going to score at 1 inch, and we're going to go all the way down at 1 inch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come all the way up to 4.5. Now at 4.5, what we're going to do is we're going to score at that first score line that we've done. So where we've got the 4.5, we're going to come up to there, and then we're going to stop. And then what we're going to do is I just want to make sure that I'm still in that 4.5 inch groove. And then that little section here at the end, we're going to score there as well.
Okay.
So that's 1 inch down. That's then 4.5 inch down to the first score line. And then you're going to finish it off just at that section here. And then that is essentially the score marks for your notelet set. So then what we can do is we're going to trim along. So we're going to come along, and you can use your paper trimmer if you want to, or your scissors and your craft knife, but we're going to cut along to that first score line that we've done. So we scored in 4.5, and we're cutting along to that first score line where we've done, and then what we're going to do is that little section, that 1 inch mark, we're going to join like so. So we're going to have that little mark in here. We're then going to come along to this end bit. So that end bit where we put that little score line just at the base, what we're going to do is we're going to chop into that, and then we're going to join that from where we've cut up to the top of that score line. So we're going to come along into here. So that's then going to give us that look. And then down the bottom here, what we're going to do is where we've got that little square here and here within your actual score lines, we're going to cut up and a little angle, and then we're going to cut up, and then we're going to create a little angle. We're going to then cut up, and then we're going to do a little angle. And then this one, what I will do is just to make it simple for yourself, we're going to cut up and an angle. But what we really just need to do, Lily, is just chop that off.
Okay.
So to make that simple for you, you could just go at an angle and chop it off, but just to try and keep it as simple as I could, that is our template for our Notelet set there.
Easy enough, that.
So all we need to do, and that's it, when you've got the photo, or once you've done it once, and you take your own little notes, you know, if you want to copy my picture and print it out and then put your own little notes on it, then you can absolutely do that, no problem whatsoever. Because these are going to be like little glue tabs, what I'm going to do is just cut at a little angle and a little angle there, and then just same down here, I'm just going to kind of enhance that little section there, cutting all of that away. So if I then start to form that one together, there is the base of what will be your Notelet set that you can see here. You can just see that there against the light. So I'm going to now take, now what I did do, and I maybe spent about 10, 15 minutes, I just taken a couple of my paper pads, chosen a specific design, and then I just cut it to size. And I cut it to size and I gave myself a little matting layer. Now what I need to do is let's bring in my, I've obviously not put in a bit of craft card, so let's do an additional matting layer here. So for this one, which is going to be our back panel, into here, no it's not, I'm going to do the watering can, which is going to be my back panel.
Oh, lovely.
We're going to add that, so let's take our tape, and because I'm going on to craft card, I'm going to use not my tape but my tacky glue, because your craft card is really, really fibrous. So I just want to make sure that it's nicely soaked in. It's going to be really sturdy. And I'm giving myself just a light matting layer all the way around. So I'm not doing a big thick 1/4 of an inch. I'm just doing a very light thin matting layer, and then we're going to trim. So all that you need to do is, once you've folded all the lines of your Notelet set, you just then need to double check the actual measurements within that section here, and then just do your mats and layers on the design that you so wish.
Gorgeous, that.
Now on the back, because of course we still want it to look pretty on the back, taken the one same page, but I've given myself that full focus of the birdcage, and we're going to do the same within this one here. So we're giving ourselves a little matting layer. We're going to add that, and I thought because of the papers that I've used, you've got kind of the natural colours, the organic colours, you've got the browns in there, and that's why I thought the craft looked really, really nice. So we're going to trim just a slither.
I think it's nice to show as well, because I think sometimes some of us feel a little bit daunted by a 12 by 12 inch sheet, and they think maybe it's just for bigger cards, but it shows how well they work actually just chopping them down for your smaller projects. It does work a treat, doesn't it?
Definitely, and you can cherry pick, because from that same page, what I've then done, the language of flowers.
Ooh.
And I've sectioned it off so that I can see that it says language of flowers, and I'm keeping these natural as they are. Because they are uncoated, it means if you want to then ink them, if you want to distress them with the edge crimpler, then of course you can do that. So there's lots and lots of additional alternatives. So I'm going to press that one in. So let's press that in. Now that is essentially the decoration now for our Notelet set. So I'm going to take my glue, and most of this, if not all of it, I use my tacky glue for this because it's construction, because people are going to be handling it and looking at it and taking the notelets out and putting them back and all of that. You want to make sure that it's really, really sturdy. So we're just going to fold them together within the glue tabs. And then we're going to take that base one, we're going to fold that in first, and then we're going to add our glue on there and then there, and then we're going to close that over. So having your strip folded first, then the glue tabs, that then means that you're giving it extra rigidity because you're sandwiching the two glue tabs between two pieces of cardstock. So I can press that down and then just use the back of my pokey tool, and I'm just going to press to make sure that's nice and it's sturdy. And if you want to, of course, do your mats and layers before you assemble it, you can do. But then once again, Lily, that is the base
gorgeous.
of your Notelet set. So let's bring the watering can in. And if you want to do this one before you assemble, you can, but because I'm using a wet glue, it's really quite easy just to slot in and move in. Press that one in. We're going to go onto the back, and then we're going to add our glue once again. Very, very little glue. You don't need much whatsoever. Well, I'm going to rephrase that. If you're using our call-out glue, you don't need a lot. It depends on the brand of glue. If you're using if you're using a cheap PVA glue, just watch. It's to do with the water content. But if you're using ours, you're going to be absolutely fine. And then on the front there, let's take our panel with our glue.
The beauty of our glue as well is you can use it on your thinner weight papers and your cardstocks because it's not going to buckle, it's not going to warp, it's not going to sort of seep through and make it too wet, is it?
Exactly, yeah. So you've seen there, I've gone from our papers that are 160 GSM to our white cardstock, to our craft cardstock, and that's all with our tacky glue. And then there's the set. You can see I've not decorated the edges. You can absolutely do that. And then what we can do is let's bring in, this is a 4x6 card blank, white card with a little matting layer. So keeping that simple, which is going to be the insert. So even if I know, and I know I say this time and time again, so apologies if you hear me saying it all the time, but even if I don't know who I'm giving the card to, I'll still put in a blank insert so that when I do come to give it to the recipient, what we're going to do is we're going to have I'm going to have an insert ready to go.
Perfect.
Let's pop that one. Now this one, I don't know if you noticed, this one I'm using here, it was double-sided. Don't know if you caught that one. And that's because, remember our recently launched 12x12 paper pads, the scrapbook.
And the Meadow Garden?
The Meadow Garden.
Yep.
They're in this, but they're not double-sided. They are single-sided.
Yeah, okay.
But because I've done 2 lots of notelets, I needed extra.
Yep.
So I've gone back and used one of my double-sided. So in case you're like, how's Craig's double-sided? It's just I've gone
because he's special, he's got a double-sided one.
Double-sided one, no. Just because I needed extra, so I had to dip into my actual 12x12 paper pad. So I'm going to add that to my card blank.
Incidentally though, if you are wanting to go for those 2 brand new 12x12 pads, if you're looking at the My Specials paper box, you're thinking, well, I really like those designs, I want more of those particular designs. We do have the Floral Scrapbook and the Meadow Garden, a collection of those over on the website. You will find them on the Shop the Day page if you want to go for them. If you want to sort of go paper pad crazy on your order today, get your My Special paper box, get a few of those 12x12 pads. You'll be set up for a long time when it comes to your paper pads, that's for sure.
For sure, yeah, definitely worthwhile checking them out and then having a look. So going in again with my favourite Hello die from our advent calendar, white card, craft card, and then the little butterfly. You can tell I've done this demo and the peacock one before on the same day.
Yeah.
So I've used them both. And notice as well, the language of flowers from this paper is of course at an angle, but it doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. So there's our Notelet box, and then there's one of our cards. So I can bring in, well, that's 5 that I've done there. And then, was that 5 I said? Yeah, 5 plus now, there's my 6th one. So there's our Notelets. So set that out the way. And then let's bring in another piece of the pattern paper here from My Special
beautiful.
Papers. Now for the envelope, for it to fit, what I've done is I've cut it to 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches. And then let's take our envelope box creator. And we're going to go into the first position. And again, this is to fit 4 by 6. We're going to score at position D. And then we're going to flip onto the other side. And we're going to do position D once again. And then for that one and that one, we're going to turn and we're going to do position H. So we're going to score, do that opposite side as well, and we're going to do score. So you'll do that however many Notelet cards that you're making. So your paper, 7.5 by 7.5. We're then going to fold, let's just fold that in the correct line. Fold along your score lines, and then that last score line, we're going to go in. If you are a new viewer, you've never seen an envelope or any of our envelopes being made, check out our YouTube because you're going to find so many step-by-steps there. But we're just going to chop out these little notches there and then there. And then I'm going to fold that back in on itself, give that a good press. I'm going to come back with my tacky glue and I'm just going to do a light little, I'm going to have to fill up my glue in a minute, I think. A little bit there and a little bit down there. Press that in. And then we've now got our envelope. So let's just find the card that I just done. So that one, language of flowers, there we go. So then that's going to fit into there. Just make sure we don't pop our butterfly off. So there's our card and our envelope, which you'll do however many times that you want. So let's add my cards. Let's bring in my other envelopes. And then last but by no means least, to hold it all together, let's take a couple of strips. I'm using craft card here. So I've gone in and I've cut it to 7 3/4 by 1.5 inches. And although I've already done my score lines, let's just do them again for you to see. We're going to line up to your box lid. So we're going to come along and we're going to score at 6 inches. We're going to score at 6 1/8. So that's just your notch next to the 6 inch. And then we're going to score at 7 1/8. And we're doing that on both. So that's 6 1/8 and 7 1/8. We're going to then fold both those bits over. And then let's take our tacky glue. And we're going to, let's see if I can get this last little bit of glue out.
Running dry.
I might just make it no more. So that little glue tab, we can join that over. I'm going to use the lines on my glass mat just to make sure that it is straight. Let's give that a press down. And then last but by no means least, let's bring in that bit here. See if I can get one last little bit out. We're going to fold that in over itself. So that's 2 strips of craft card that were 7 3/4 by 1.5. And then I've scored at 6 1/8 and then 7 1/8. Press, give that a really, really good press down. Let's just flex that back and forwards. Let's bring in our Notelet and the very, very last bit of glue, which I'm sure I can get. Oh, yeah, there we go. Little butterfly once again. So that one can sit nicely into here. And what I've also done, these are our circle dies from our layout collection.
Oh, okay.
Our Gemini mini alphabets. And that butterfly again, I'm just going to take my foam pad off. Let's bring all of our notelets in, our envelopes in. We're going to pop that into there. Let's bring that in. That is going to wrap round. Let's get that central on the eye. Once again, I don't know now. Well, it's a tiny little bit. There we go.
A little bit left.
Because it's our fibrous craft card. Let's press that into here. Give that a really, really good press. And then there we go. We've got our notelet set with all of our notelets. Done 5 to start. We've done 1 in the show. We've done the wrap as well. Finish that off. And then there we go. We've got our notelets that you can then
Absolutely
recreate at home.
amazing. Goodness me, what an incredible project we've just seen there, start to finish. We've seen the box, we've seen the note list, we've seen the envelopes, we've seen the wrap. My goodness me, there is so much you can do with those incredible My Special Papers box. So many of you at home are loving that demonstration just as much as I have. I think I want to recreate one of those myself, that is for certain. Rosie's saying, love this note box, Craig. Imani's saying, I love this project with the note cards and box. Pat says, unfortunately, I've been multitasking and just seeing some of the show, which I already saved. Good idea, that one. Craig, thank you so much for doing your posting for the measurements of this card box. The show has been very informative. Nadia says, such a lovely project. Thanks, Craig. I now have the perfect gift for Teacher Appreciation Day with this note card box. Doing my happy dance. Oh, absolutely perfect. Now, Craig just used one of the designs from that fabulous My Special Paper box to create that gorgeous Notelet box. But, of course, you are getting tons more besides. You're getting a whopping 240 sheets as part of this collection. You're getting 2 of each design. So that's 120 different designs. And if you're loving the look at that box, you think, do you know what, 240 sheets isn't enough. I want more. Well, if you want 480 sheets, go for 2 boxes and you're going to save an extra 20%. If you want 3 boxes, you're going to save an extra 30%, which is absolutely incredible. You are going to be literally swimming in gorgeous papers if you go for all 3. Now, I think we need to have a little look at some more of those gorgeous designs within the paper pad. Craig, let's open the box. Let's have a little look inside.
Let's do it. Let's delve in here, Lily. So if you are, of course, going to be doing the notelets, the different looks that you're going to get from all of these 240 sheets. Now let's do it in blocks and sections. Now you've got some that are brand new. You've got some that are some of your favourites, and then you've got some that are recently launched as well. So you've got a mix of your florals, your butterflies, you've got that woodwork, but you've got kind of that nature look, that organic look. You've got the sepia looks in there. From your butterflies, your dragonflies, you've got that script work, you've got your vein leaves, you've even got things such as distressed look. There's just so many ways, all completely smooth, although a lot of them do look really, really textured, but they are completely smooth.
Oh, I love that one. That's gorgeous.
That one's a really nice one, isn't it? Just even having that script there with the postage stamp. I mean, that one there, photo in the corner, additional little bit of blurb, that's all you need for a scrapbook page. I know a lot of people tend to stress and worry about scrapbook pages, but you don't need to use a lot. That's the one that I used there with the notelet set, the language of flowers there. You've got additional sentiments. There's the watering can, there's the bird cage. So that was all the components that I used. And because you've got 2 sheets, that you are able to do a couple. And then you've got your lighter look, you've got your letterpress look, your watered effect. I mean, that one there, the pink with that
it's one of my favourites,
panel.
that.
All the panel ones I love, but you've got bold, you've got corners, you've got borders, you've got accents. So it's not just as if it's completely edge to edge. You've got a lovely, lovely variety of looks as well. I mean, that one's really, really light. It's really, really subtle. I mean, that one as well. Beautiful designs. There's just within the 240 that you've got, chopping them in half, chopping them in 4s, of course, for 4. That one there with
that cake one.
Cake.
That's unusual. I like that.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah,
huge,
big old cake, that one.
Huge. And once again, wedding photo there, Lily, a little bit of blurb across there, maybe a few flowers, butterflies, and then that is it.
Job done.
But you can do your decoupage. You're getting your 2 sheets, as I said a moment ago, but if you go for the double box, then that's 4 of each sheet that you're going to be getting. And I know that flicking through, there's some that I've missed and I've jumped ahead. So you're going to get lots of other designs as well that you didn't quite see there. So yeah, 160 GSM with all 240 sheets.
Absolutely incredible. Love that My Special Papers box. It's that opportunity as well. If you did miss out on some of those papers when they were a part of previous collections, or maybe you've already used up those paper pads and you're itching to get more in your crafty stash, then that is the one to go for. A whopping 240 sheets for £39.99 or $47.96. Now, she was here twice last week, our Sheena, providing us with lots of inspiration. And we had a brand new launch last week, and these are absolutely fabulous. And I want to share these with you now, because maybe you didn't manage to tune in last week, maybe you missed out on these, or maybe you've been sitting on the fence and you think, do you know what, I'm going to go for them now. Now is the time to do so, because they are absolutely fabulous. These are our a little bit quirky stamp collection, and this is your showstopper. So it's not just about your stamps, you're going to get some pens as well, which I will be showing you in just a moment. But for £32 or $44, you are getting all 4 sets of stamps I'm about to show you. I'm being a little bit selfish here. I'm starting off with my favourite. I just absolutely love this one. Reminds me of like your Tudor style houses, and maybe you're living in a lovely village or a town where this is the sort of architecture you can see. I'm thinking places like Stratford upon Avon it's making me think of. Maybe you've got beautiful photos to make this into a scrapbook page. You've got all your different sentiments on there as well. But it's not just about that beautiful design, it's giving you that little bit of a quirky look. It's a little bit, it's not sort of photorealistic, it's got a little bit of personality, which I think is absolutely fabulous. So that's the first one of your beautiful quality photo polymer clear stamps. So they're going to, they're going to stamp out perfectly with that crisp stamp design, and with them being clear means you can see exactly where you're stamping. Then we've got the next of our 4 designs here. Could be a village shop, you could even maybe turn it into a pub if you so choose. Love the fact that we've got the little post box there as well. I think that's a really nice finishing touch to that stamp, but again in that quirky style with all of your sentiments on there as well. Then we've also got this beautiful building. Think about maybe stamping those up, layering them up, masking, creating a whole scene, a whole row of houses if you so choose. Love that sentiment here, Stu. Something really fun about the way that's sort of positioned onto the page there. And we've also got cheers down the bottom. And then finally we've got this stunning church design, perfect for Christmas, for weddings, for christenings, for baptisms. Going to work perfectly for all of those occasions. You've got things like sending blessings, many congrats, and you've got that ability to colour that up however you so choose. Works a treat as well. If you want to do that in sepias or grayscales, that also looks incredible. But perhaps you're new to your colour, new to your stamping, and you wanted some pens to go alongside these stamps, then these are going to be absolutely ideal. These are your, I'm going to have to get my teeth in to say this one, your Sheena shaders. There we go, I've said it once, never again. You are getting 3 of your fabulous tri-blend style pens there, and you are getting your opaque white pen. If you've got our Academy of Colour, if you've got the Sheena Bella Luna, that's that same pen. Very useful pen, it's one I use day in, day out. I always have it on my craft desk when I'm working right in front of me, because it's that ability to give those highlights onto any surface, whether it's onto your black cardstock, whether it's onto something that you've already coloured and you want to add that little bit of a detail, that little bit of a highlight, you can absolutely do that with that fabulous pen. And then the idea with your shader pens is that you've got your brown grey shader, your ice grey shader and your green grey shader. Of course you can use them in as pens, alcohol pens in sort of in their own right, in their entirety, but you can also add them underneath other colour tones. Perhaps it's going to be underneath a paler red to get that shading, to get that toning and sort of deepen and lengthen the shades that you get from any one pen. So very, very useful to have all 3 of those. Love the fact that you've got your brown grey, so great for you if you colouring underneath a warm tone. Great to have your ice greys, great for your cool tones, and you've got your green grey as well, which is going to be super useful for all of that foliage. If you're colouring landscapes or flowers or florals, anything like that, it's going to be absolutely ideal. So you're getting all 4 beautiful stamp sets, something that little bit different, that quirky nature, that really quite fun character to those, and you're getting your pack of your shader pens as well, which are absolutely fantastic, not just for use with these stamps, but with anything else you've got in your crafty collection already. £32 or $44. You've seen there all the beautiful designs, but I think it's time to get inspired with a few samples with Craig.
I know these really, really are beautiful. The size of them as well. And then teamed, of course, with what Sheena and Sheena's team does. Absolutely spectacular. We want to bring in all your different like masking sheets. You know, you've got your colour and mediums there as well. Prime example where you don't always have to use colour to the stamped image. I mean, that one there, just cherry picking, just a couple of little detailed coloured flags there.
Oh,
and
wow.
That one, you know, it's very kind of spooks and Halloween and Most Haunted and Yvette Fielding and love it. Even that one there, straight onto a card blank. Straight on to a card blank, no mats and layers, but then going in with the difference. The difference between that one and then that one.
Same stamp, wow.
Same stamp, you know, it's a really blustery night, isn't it? It's an eerie night, the sky's been dark but colourful, and then start to bring in
Oh, I like
nesting
that.
dies that you've got as well, and giving you that archwork if you've got artwork like that when it comes to the dies. But then the shadowing that you've got as well, your smaller card.
Aw.
Now, yes, you've got the shading pens that Lily was showing you, but bringing in all your other alcohol pens, even coming in with, I mean, this one here, going back, but that one's just got a little bit of glossy highlights, just there on that post box, or when you can see that one there. You know, that could be Christmas time, you know, the snow
Absolutely,
falling
yeah.
down at night time, or really old and rickety that you can see there. What a beautiful set, really, really quirky set there. So yeah, it's going to be good with your bright colours, but then yeah, if you do love that winter time, that paranormal, that spooky, that Halloween, great one as well.
Definitely, yeah. One of those collections that you can take your crafting throughout the whole year. It's going to work perfectly for all of those different seasons. £32 or $44 for that complete collection of all 4 stamp sets and your Sheena shaders as well. Now, if you missed our earlier show here on Crafters TV, you might have missed out on our fabulous brand new card kit that we launched just today. It has been going down a storm with you guys at home. You've been absolutely loving this. You saw in that launch day show the versatility of this kit. Of course, you can create those amazing frame cards as they sort of have been intended and designed, but like Craig showed us throughout that whole show, you can be creating so many different concepts besides. You can be doing them for your shakers, you can be creating your home decor pieces, you can be layering together in trifold configurations. Lots of versatility with this fantastic frame card kit. But if you are new to crafting and you want to create exactly as they've sort of been intended, then you have the instructions, full colour, pictorial and word instructions as part of that collection as well. But if you want to get even more goodies, even more bang for your buck, as they say, go for this showstopper. £27.99 or $31.96 with 100 bonus points will bring to you that kit which enables you to make 20 cards with their matching gold foiled box envelopes, but it's also going to bring to you that Scoremaster scoreboard with both your metric and your imperial measurements, perfect for your A4 size cardstock. It will bring to you 10 sheets of that luxurious, beautiful Centura pearl in the snow white hint of silver. You'll also get your tape pen there, 22 metres of really strong adhesive on that tape runner. £27.99 or $31.96 with 100 bonus points is a fabulous deal for a brand new item. I know Craig had some fabulous demos on launch day, but he's got a few more samples so you can see exactly what you can create when you get this home.
I do indeed. So you've got the box to go with them, so you can fold them together, and then your actual frame card. This is one of them. This is how they look. I'll show you one other when it comes to the actual way that they were designed, but you've got your 5 designs, 4 of each, but then there's that same one, but turn that into a shaker, or maybe do the 3 of them that you can see side by side, and all of these I show you within that last show with myself and Lily and Launch Party.
Oh, wow, absolutely fantastic. Great inspiration throughout the day. Thank you so much, Craig. It's been fabulous to see all the demos. I'm done for the day. Sorry, Craig. Craig is back here at 6 o'clock. If you're over in the US, oh my goodness me, we have got a 2-hour extravaganza. Sarah's coming in, Sarah and Craig, for that HSN preview. That's going to be a 2-hour special here in the UK at 6 o'clock tonight. You're going to get a sneak peek of so many goodies coming up on that HSN show next week. Now, thank you so much for everyone at home for your company today. It's been absolutely fabulous to share the new launch with you. Lots of inspiration, lots of gorgeous crafty goodies. So a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in, kept us company, got those comments in. So hopefully see you again very, very soon. But in the meantime, happy crafting. Take care. Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Thank you.